Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. For this video, I'm going to be reacting to the TikToker who faked cancer for money and went viral. I don't understand people. Why? I guess people, they want to do anything to get money or like clout, be seen, attention, all that. They'll do anything for that. So, I don't know why she did this. Like, she knows people in real life. Like, isn't that how she got caught? I think I heard about this, but I don't know exactly how she got caught. But maybe someone that actually knows her in real life knows that she doesn't have cancer, so they called her out. And yeah, this is a crime, stealing money, pretending to have cancer or illness or something, just to get sympathy from other people, and they donate money to you. So yeah, let's see what this is about, and please subscribe. Let me know what else I should react to in the comments below. I wonder what happened to her. Did she go to jail?
This is Madison Russo.
You know, it's gonna be fun.
Like, I don't understand why doesn't she just become an influencer and make money that way? Why she have to go this route? Doesn't make sense. I don't understand.
You hope it's gonna be fine. Fingers crossed.
I'm gonna try not to
we're all
pause too much
praying,
because this video is already long.
The teenager that used social media
Oh, she's
to
a
chronicle
teenager?
the battle for her life.
I mean, if you would look
She
at
looks
me,
30.
you wouldn't even realize that I'm sick and going through treatment.
A heartbreaking journey that had followers open their hearts
What struck a chord with you
Can't trust
about her
anybody
story?
anymore.
and their wallets to the Iowa teen.
She was a very young person that appeared to be in a serious amount of trouble.
But now, recent allegations
This is disgusting. Disgusting.
have called into question the very basis of Maddie's online fame.
Yeah, they like called out that
cannot
picture,
grasp
like
that in my brain.
it looked fake.
How did she sleep at night?
or
And these
because she
accusations
put
aren't
it,
just
the tubes in wrong or
cancelable,
something.
they're criminal.
Now, new tonight, this search warrant is revealing some new details about what led to her arrest and what was taken from her apartment.
But as new
I think she
details
looks
over
19,
Maddie's
or
alleged
she
crime
looks younger in her
emerge, the
mugshot.
depths this blossoming influencer sunk to has the internet questioning whether this hoax was a team effort, or if the teenager masterminded the scam and sealed her
Yeah.
fate all on her own.
I feel like she didn't do this by herself,
And this
because
is my story.
of course people in real life would like call her out. So there's probably people in her team collecting money too.
If anyone's life could be defined by adversity, it would be Madison Russo's. In 2019, the Iowa teen was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. In 2022, a mass on her pancreas revealed she also had stage 2 pancreatic cancer. And 3 months later, just when Maddie learned her tumor was shrinking, she was informed the
Wait, so
cancer had
she
spread
really
to
has
her
these,
blood,
or this
adding
is what she made
leukemia
up
to the
too?
teen's trifecta of life-threatening diagnoses. But call it bad luck, call it life's test, call it an uncaring universe. Whatever uncontrollable force was responsible for Maddie's constant health scares, the teenager didn't just persevere.
Type 1 diabetes does not define me. Pancreatic cancer does not define me. Leukemia does not define me.
She flourished. Maddie finished her semester at St. Ambrose University with an impressive 3.85 GPA and secured her dream internship with John Deere, all while
Dang,
going through
she-
oral chemotherapy and radiation.
She went through all those
a
years
journey
of
she
school and she didn't
documented on
learn
her growing TikTok and
that
other
this would
social media platforms.
get her in trouble.
It was one of my worries. I was like, do I do it? Do I not? But I'm glad I did, because it has been probably
Do
one
what?
of the best distractions.
Still,
See
with a
people?
fresh tan and long hair, Maddie didn't exactly look like a cancer patient. But as the saying goes, looks can be deceiving.
If you look at me, you would never know that I am sick. I still have hair. I can put on makeup to hide the exhaustion.
Is she reading
and
something?
pain, and I carry myself fairly well at work and school.
So, how did Maddie
Yeah,
manage to
looking
keep
at her,
her
you can't
locks?
tell there's something wrong with her.
Well, while
in
the
the head.
teen claimed oral chemo typically
'Cause,
caused more thinning than
there has to
actual
be
hair loss,
coming
there
up with
were
this
some over-the-counter
scam.
options she presented to her followers as miracle solutions, including a regrowth treatment, a hair mask,
See, in
and
this video, she
supplements.
looks
Biotin,
a lot
collagen, and
older.
keratin are crucial vitamins
Maybe it's
that
the
are
lighting.
shown to help with like hair, skin, and nail growth.
Yet, perhaps Maddie's secret to sidestepping the effects of chemo wasn't store-bought, but some hidden power the teenager alone possessed.
That
See,
dog's smiling.
social media posts positioned Maddie as a superhuman pancreatic cancer warrior who could maintain her pre-diagnosis looks and lifestyle, even
Scam.
if that meant going on a 6-mile run after her 14th round of chemo. People ask me how I do it all the time, Maddie wrote on Facebook. Moral of the story, I put my head down, focus on what is important, and grind. However,
For the
in
scan.
other posts, Maddie made it clear she was not immune to the ravages of sickness. Just like other cancer patients, there were times when the teenager couldn't push her body the way she wanted to.
I have to realize that before I even do anything or attempt to do anything,
Her family
my body
knew
is fighting
what she was doing.
so hard every minute just to stay alive.
course.
And times when no hair
How's she gonna post
treatment
this
could
much
stop
on
her hair
internet
from falling
and her
out
family
in,
not know?
albeit somewhat unnaturally blunt,
Oh, no.
clumps.
I was like brushing my hair and a few like pieces were like coming out as I was brushing my hair. Of course, my 2 a.m. Google search was clip-in hair extensions, like wigs. Like
No, just like Maddie didn't shy away from the good during her battle with cancer,
there's so many different things about it that just flat out sucks. But there's also some pretty beautiful things
Dang,
about
she
it, I
wanted
think, that I've been able to
attention
experience.
and money
she
that
showed
bad.
equal representation
that she
for the
did all
bad
this.
it's just one of those days where just all I can say is cancer sucks. Cancer sucks.
and the ugly.
I have this mat and we call it the yak mat. It's basically like a yoga mat, but it's long and we put it in the bathroom because I have hardwood floors, so it's easier to puke.
Perhaps it was this unfiltered representation of the contradicting highs and lows of illness that qualified the teenager to speak on behalf of the cancer community at her university, share her story with the National
Scam.
Pancreas Foundation, and lend her perspective on the Project Purple podcast.
I wonder how
would
long
you
she has to be in
define
jail.
the term pancreatic cancer?
The first word that comes to mind is just ugly.
However, Maddie wasn't just fighting for her community, she was fighting for her life.
More advocating needs to be done, and that's why I do it, because I want people to live. I want to live.
The teenager was determined to beat the odds, which for her were at an 11% survival rate for 5 years. But in October 2022, the 19-year-old's can-do spirit was tested once again. Over the last few weeks, my back had been hurting so bad and I couldn't figure out why, Maddie told local news source the North Scott Press in 2022. A PET scan revealed there was a very straightforward cause for Maddie's pain, a football-sized tumor that had made itself at home on her spine. Individuals, businesses, and cancer charities had together contributed over $37,000 to a
Dang.
GoFundMe fundraiser created by a man named Tom Bouland to help Maddie pay her medical expenses. But now it seemed no dollar amount could heal the teen. She has tried everything and given it her all. An update posted to the campaign in January 2023 read, chemo, radiation, and other methods
I wonder
have
what
no
other
longer
scams are
helped.
going on like this.
Still, the 19-year-old hadn't let her diminishing
Can't
odds
trust
of
anyone.
survival dim her positive spirit, as a photo captured her smiling, even with feeding tubes and IV poles. Yet despite the update's optimistic sign-off that stated, here's to the greatest comeback story ever told and a miracle
think
in 2023,
she was called out because of that
for
picture,
anyone
'cause
familiar with illness,
she put
the
the
message
tubes in
sounded a
wrong or
lot
something.
like goodbye. But oh, what a guiding light
Or she
the
placed the
community would
tubes
be
wrong.
losing.
I don't
Maddie
remember
was the
all
person
the
who chose
all
to
the
make the
details.
undiscussed nitty-gritty details of illness public. In fact, the teenager's candid posts all seem to say the same thing. This is what cancer looks like. Or was it? Sure, Maddie's social media persona represented someone in the throes of the battle for her life.
I am getting back on track for radiation this morning. I just think it's another round we can check off, and it's just one step closer. I feel so weak, so just like kind of like woozy. Some days it does kick your butt a little bit. I'm just keeping it real.
But beneath the hair, the makeup, and the go-go-go lifestyle, was Maddie's illness
I wonder,
just invisible?
You could look at somebody
like,
from
her
the outside
thoughts
and think they look
and like
healthy,
what she talks
but
about
you don't see
off
that
camera.
inside their body
Like,
is
to the people that
literally
actually
trying
know,
to
I wonder
destroy them.
Or
what
non-existent.
she tells them. Like,
See, it seemed there'd
I
been
just
a
wanna make
miracle,
money
or
and
at least that's how one North
I'm not
Scott
gonna get
Press
caught
reader
or
saw it
something. I
when
don't
they
know.
left a comment on the teen's interview. Your prayers are answered. Maddie does not have cancer. The headline stamped across socials and news broadcasts broke the news. Madison Russo was cancer-free. Or so that's what the allegations sent to local law enforcement suggested. On January 11th, 2023, authorities received a report that claimed the teenager had
Someone
cashed
that knew
out the
her.
over $37,000
Calling
donated to
her
her
out.
GoFundMe page. So, what was the big deal?
exposing her.
That money was rightfully Maddie's, right? Well, it would have been if the 19-year-old hadn't allegedly made the whole thing up.
They found a mass on my pancreas, and I had stage 2 pancreatic cancer at just 19 years old. Scared is an understatement. I was terrified, and I definitely still am.
Was a
But why is she
heartbreaking tale.
reading
A
that?
young woman battling both leukemia and pancreatic cancer. The cops say she wasn't sick at all.
Ultimately, I just pray I
She
pray,
kind of looks
pray,
like
pray
Gabby
that
Hanna
cancer is
a little
something,
bit in this video.
that you
Is
will
that her
never
name?
have to know.
I don't remember.
According to authorities, she doesn't have cancer. She never did, and that's not just a lie.
Lies.
It's a felony.
How long
Y'all's
she locked up?
support has been so awesome. It does not go unnoticed.
Officers say 19-year-old Madison Russo stole the money from more than 439 donors with false claims that she suffered from acute lymphoblastic
has, crazy
leukemia,
eyes,
stage
kinda,
2
sometimes.
pancreatic cancer, and a tumor the size of a football.
Understandably, the community that had rallied around Madison was rocked by the news. This couldn't be the same girl who wrote a post where she claimed to be able to relate to a paraplegic man because they both knew how life can change in an instant.
Oh no, if you
And
were
no way
related
was
to
this
her,
the teen who had
like
accepted
you're her parents
charity
or
with open
something,
arms. It just couldn't be
like,
that
do you just
Maddie,
cut
the
her off, or
pancreatic cancer warrior
do
the
you, like,
community had accepted
stand
with
by her
open
through all
arms,
this?
prayed for, and offered help to, had been lying the whole time.
Because people are gonna be side-eyeing you too.
So
Like, you knew something.
for each and every one of you guys, all of the prayers, all of the thoughts, the just the warm hugs, the warm feelings, the packages I've received.
Okay,
It has made this
it's a long video.
just
Halfway.
a tiny bit easier.
My wife connected with Maddie as she was afflicted with the same blood cancer as her, and we cheered
I just
her,
wanna know what happened to
commiserated with
her.
her, amplified her message, and supported her GoFundMe. The spouse of a cancer patient wrote, however, now he was convinced he and his other half had been duped. On behalf of a caregiver and cancer warrior who have and do solicit donations on behalf of both themselves and fundraising organizations, this affects us as much as you and soils the mission that we're on. And these weren't the only victims of the teen sob story. Maddie had also befriended a girl named Charlie Erpelding, a fellow Iowa teenager who battled cancer until she tragically lost the fight in October 2022.
Maddie dedicated this post to Charlie after she passed, saying that she and Charlie would text each other daily about all the ups and downs of our battles.
You're lying
with
to that girl
cancer.
the whole time.
The fact that this girl acted like she had cancer, acted like she could relate to Charlie's plight, I cannot grasp that in my brain. How did she sleep at night?
And it appeared Maddie's content may have done more harm than good to those struggling with the disease.
I think she just wanted
Remember
attention,
that post where
like,
the teenager talked about going for a teensy
you wanted
6
attention
mile
this bad?
post-chemo run? Well, that image of Maddie, healthy and still able to physically challenge herself, stuck with one cancer patient. I was sitting on the couch, looking at the post and asking myself what I was doing wrong. Why was I bald, weak, and couldn't even think about walking, let alone running, they recalled. Turns out, the patient wasn't doing anything wrong. Maddie, on the other hand, well, that was for the authorities to sort out. And the teen social media might have just been a crime scene presented on a silver platter, as Maddie all too eagerly shared her
evidence.
cancer journey with viewers that now included law enforcement.
I know it's kind of helped me to talk through it and kind of hear myself. So I hope
Like,
that
why
helps
don't
you
people
guys as well.
interview
And boy, had
her
Maddie
friends
been
or her
helpful.
family?
In fact, it
Like,
was
did
the
they not do
teenager's
that?
online content
What did they think
that
about
led
this?
medical professionals to approach
No
the
one ever
Eldridge
thought about
Police
interviewing
Department in the
these
first
other
place.
people?
According to these experts, Maddie's social media posts had contained terrible life-threatening inaccuracies, some of which have since been pointed out online.
No substances in the tubing, and those look like cotton balls. Also, do you see that right there? That little purple spot? Yeah, that's supposed to be down in her stomach.
She also said that she was taking biotin to prevent her hair loss. Biotin is a protein that helps your hair grow. Chemo kills your cells that produce your hair. Biotin's not gonna help that.
The way that it's secured, the type of tape that's used, is not the same clinical tape that we would use in the hospital.
I knew I heard something about that.
Is that the end of the feeding tube?
But Maddie hadn't just misrepresented her treatment, she misrepresented herself. See, photos the teenager had posted while going through treatment weren't always taken from her own camera roll, but stolen from the social media accounts of cancer patients sharing their vulnerable
Dang.
moments.
How are you gonna use someone else's pictures
She literally
and
stole this photo,
not get caught?
hoping
And
that
think you're not
nobody
gonna
would
get
ever
caught?
know.
Medical records from Genesis, Trinity, and Stead Family Children's Hospital also confirmed that although Madison was indeed a patient, she had never been treated for cancer. And on January 23rd, the 19-year-old was taken into custody outside of her classroom. The charge? Theft by means of deception, a Class C felony punishable by up to 10 years imprisonment.
So is
However,
she in jail now?
hours after her arrest, Madison was bailed out with a $10,000
By who?
cash bond by one Thomas Bouland. Does that name
Why?
ring any bells? It should. After all, this was the same Thomas Bouland who had organized the GoFundMe on Madison's behalf.
Oh,
So
he was
what
part of the
this
team
older man's
scam.
connection to the teenager? Well, there was a rumor being whispered throughout the city of Eldridge that suggested Thomas was much more than simply a champion of the cause. According to an anonymous message sent to Bobby Smurdy, a TikTok account that's become an archive for Maddie's now deleted social media posts, Maddie and Tom had been involved in a romantic entanglement for the past 3 years. Peggy, Maddie's mom, was always trying to get her away from him, but it obviously never worked, the source alleged. And the age gap between the two wasn't the only problem. Rumor had it, Tom was already
yeah, it's crazy ass too.
Yup, Thomas was supposedly a married man with a family. And while Maddie attempted to upgrade herself from mistress to girlfriend status by allegedly faking a pregnancy, it was to no avail. Tom wouldn't leave his wife and daughter. But where did the cancer storyline come from? Was Tom somehow involved? Or was somebody else in Maddie's life tied up?
Is she crying with no
scheme?
tears?
So many questions and so few ansars. But that hasn't stopped
Wait, where are the
speculation.
tears?
Bobby Smurdy was suspicious that Maddie's mother had played a part in her daughter's alleged hoax. Life, her mother, Peggy Russo, has been a known helicopter parent, and it would be incredibly shocking to find out she was not involved, the user theorized in a TikTok. However, a Facebook comment allegedly made by Peggy implied the mother had never attended her daughter's appointments, despite asking numerous times to go. Told her she didn't have to do it alone, but she insisted, the mother wrote. No one's ever understood that. Was it pride? But it's broken my heart for a year. But while some TikTok users believe the mother was blindsided by the allegations against her daughter, others weren't so sure. One user commented, I don't believe for a minute that her mom didn't know about it. And another suggested Peggy's online behavior didn't read as innocent, commenting, I don't buy it. Her mom would post detailed updates.
I said,
then
like,
there was Maddie's age.
you just cut her off. Like, people are going to side IU now, thinking that you were part of the scam even if you had no idea.
Hypothesized she had to be on her mom's insurance. There's no way she didn't know. But according to those anonymous messages sent to Bobby Smurdy, this wasn't the case. The source alleged Maddie was being supported financially by Tom and had taken herself off of her mother's insurance. The only time Peggy was allegedly given any insight on her daughter's terminal illness was when she was invited to hear her speak at events and galas. So that's where she took her chance. According to the source, Peggy found a doctor at an event in Chicago that was open to providing a second opinion on her daughter's diagnosis. However, Madison didn't seem to appreciate her mother's interference. Maddie freaked out, called her mom every name in the book, called Tom, and got a flight home immediately, left Peggy there alone, the source alleged. Then came December 2022, when Maddie allegedly left her car at her mother's place, along with a note that said she would pass away soon and no longer needed the vehicle. However, the next month, Maddie's actions were hardly those of a teen at the end of her life. Peggy allegedly received a call that informed her Maddie was moving into an expensive condo and bought a new car. As for how this jump in tax bracket occurred, well, according to the source, Maddie didn't just raise $38K on GoFundMe, which a majority of donations were Tom using fake names. She raised well over $100K on her own profile care accounts. And this wasn't the only instance where the mother received unsettling news about her daughter. A nurse who had kids at Peggy's daycare allegedly attempted to inform the mother that Maddie wasn't a patient at the hospital.
Wasn't that the same guy in the other picture?
But according to the source,
and his face wasn't blurred out in the other picture.
and didn't believe this woman who was trying to tell her that her daughter was lying. But that didn't mean Maddie hadn't raised suspicion. A friend of the Russo family anonymously shared this perspective with a local news station, and it's safe to say he wasn't sold on Maddie's alleged cancer shtick.
They say, quote, I know me and my friends felt that she was faking from the beginning.
Okay, so
None of the
are they
boys
gonna
looked
tell
legit
us
to me, and she never lost her
what happened to
hair.
her now?
I think it's sick and disgusting to do something
She's
like
not in
this,
jail.
though.
And although Maddie may have been bailed out, the wheels of justice were still in motion. On January 30th, authorities seized $33,000 as well as property from the teenager's bank accounts and a shared account between Maddie and Peggy. But that wasn't all the officers confiscated.
25 items were taken by Eldridge police, including a brown paper bag with medical supplies, a wig, journals, a laptop, pills belonging to a family member for nausea, folders with bank statements, and her vehicle.
And on February 28th, Maddie filed a written plea, not guilty. The teenager also had a question,
How's she not guilty?
rather a request for prosecutors.
If
could they return
you have
the
none
money?
of those things,
A court filing claimed
they
the
can
money
like
that had been
literally
seized
test
by the
you to see
Eldridge
if you have
police came from lawful
those things.
employment, gifts, and loans. But it didn't appear things were going Madison's way. Remember that vehicle police seized in January? Well, in March, prosecutors filed a forfeiture complaint against the teenager that alleged Maddie had used her funds that she secured through GoFundMe to buy the 2023 Kia Sportage. Maddie's attorney denied this and filed a request that claimed her client was the legal owner of the money and it was acquired through lawful employment, gifts, and loans. As for those over
Employment
400
to what?
contributors who had dug into the depths of their pockets to donate to a teen they believed was fighting for her life, thankfully, they have since been refunded and informed of an alleged scam they'd never seen coming.
I didn't really have words. Like, when my friend sent me the link, it was like, oh my gosh, you shared this, you donated. Like, I didn't donate that much, but it's like,
It's people
you
like
do
her
what
that
you can, and you're just
ruin
like,
it for other people that
shocked.
actually need
I hope
donations
the
because
people
now you don't
in
know
the
who to trust.
foundations that donated get all their money back in, and hopefully they can give it to someone with an actual diagnosis.
When Louis Philman was refunded his $500 donation, he assumed the worst. Madison must have passed away. However, after Louis found out the real reason he had been reimbursed, his pity for the teenager remained.
Say a prayer for this young kid because she's going to have a lot of terrible consequences as a result of
That's
this.
her
And while
fault.
some donors couldn't help but let the news dampen their charitable spirit, Louis wasn't going to let the alleged scam turn him into a cynic.
It's a better idea to do a good thing and be taken than it is to sit in your foxhole and hope something gets better.
And as the tentative trial date of May 15th approaches, perhaps those Maddie allegedly took advantage of can find comfort in Louis's philosophy, that even when kindness is taken advantage of, a charitable act is never done in vain. Madison used social
Oh,
media
stop it.
to weave a touching
I'll be
story.
mad if I donated
One of a teenager
money to
that,
someone
despite
and it was
her
a lie.
dire circumstance,
It's extremely physically exhausting, but also the mental part of it, I think it's 10 times worse.
remained hopeful.
I will be able to walk across the stage at my college graduation, able to get married and become a mom. I just have to continue
To that man,
to fight and
that was part of your scam.
here.
But allegations have spun that once heartwarming tale into a chilling example of the levels of deceit
so she
one
never went to
person can
jail?
stoop to.
Every time she placed a piece of tape on her skin, knowing that none of it was actually doing anything, how did you not think this is wrong?
In an
She probably
effort to
thought she wouldn't
profit
get
off of the
caught.
kindness of strangers.
Like, if you're gonna lie about having cancer and start fundraising on your own behalf and make it your whole personality, you better raise more than $37,000. You better raise, like, enough money to flee the country.
This is the story of Madison Russo, the teenager who allegedly tried to fool the internet until her lies made front page news.
So she never went to jail. Okay, so how did she not go to jail? I don't understand. It's weird. But yeah, moral of the story, you can't trust anyone. Because people like this, they ruin it for everyone else. But anyway, that's the end of this video. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Let me know what else I should react to in the comments below. And if you want to see my experiences in Korea, you can check out my first channel, SEKSHI. And if you want to see my other socials, it's right here under my face. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.